Good morning to the DMV and the rest of the world. Today is a great show. We're talking about mental health. It's very important, just as it is very powerful. Mental health, whether we know it or not, affects all of us and everyone in some form or capacity. We need to have more conversation about what plagues us as a group of people, as a society. Today, I have a special guest in the studio. My special guest today is Miss Bernice. I'm sorry, I didn't even get her last name, but I'll let her introduce herself as we bring her on, and she'll tell us her story and how mental illness affected her and her family. Good morning,
Good
Miss Bernice. How are you?
morning. I'm blessed. I can't complain.
Okay. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can.
All righty. Well, let's dive into it first. Introduce yourself to all our viewers and listeners.
Well, my name is Bernie Smith, and I'm a resident of Washington, D.C. I am the mother of nine beautiful children. I have 11 grandchildren. I'm an advocate for mental health. I'm an entrepreneur, and I'm an author as well. I was raised here by my grandparents primarily, but my mom is an essential part of my life. Um, that's the gist of me of who I am. There's a lot more, but that reveals itself in time.
Okay, okay. Well, thank you and welcome for thank you for coming, and I welcome you. And so that's a very impressive resume there you had. You have nine children. Wow. Woo, that's a lot. My head goes off to you. I just have the one, and I know how. Woo, that's enough right there. That oh, I tell you, nine babies. Wow. Well, thank you. You have a big, beautiful family. Um, so tell the people your story. Who are you, and how did you become the person that you are today, and what happened, what affected your life? I understand you just had a recent tragedy within this past year.
Yes. Well, if how I became who I am was through many trials and tribulations, and I learned. I was a young mother. I had my first son when I was 18. And after that, many followed. I have two sets of twins, six boys and three girls. But in 2021, um, December 4th, I lost my second oldest, who was also a twin, to suicide. Um, they say, again, they say you see so many signs. I saw my son grieving from the loss of his daughter's mother. They were best friends. They weren't in a relationship, but they were the best of friends. And she passed on October the 4th. Um, COVID. They had one daughter. Well, he had one daughter. She had two. I now have custody of my granddaughter. She's 9 years old. Um, on that morning, from what his daughter tells me, he was frustrated, and it ended with a call around 11 a.m. from his fiance telling me that he had taken his life and he used a gun to do it. Um, his daughter was not in the room. She was present in the home, as well as three of my other grandchildren. Um, I can't explain. I can't explain the feeling when you get that call. Like I said, he was grieving, but he never showed signs that he was suicidal. Um, he never talked about taking his life. He would tell us he was tired or he was going through this and he was going through that. You know the norm. His
Right.
pattern didn't change. He still took care of himself. He still took care of his family. He still smiled and laughed with his siblings, and he loved his family. They were a large part of who he was. Um, all I can recall is throwing the phone down and screaming, my
Mm,
son." Um,
mm, mm.
After I gathered myself, I had to go pick up his daughter, um, and I did. And that was on a Saturday morning. That Monday, I went to court and filed for custody, and I won full custody of her, as per my commitment and promise to my son. Um, she displayed what's going on within her in many different ways, and it comes out in anger sometimes, frustration. She cries. She talks to me and she tells me, she said, "Mama, it's like a dream." She said, "I just, I just wish they were here." So I have her in therapy and she's going through her thing. But my son, as with all humans, he had his flaws, but his heart is so much larger than his flaws could ever be. He was joyful. He was the family clown. I have so many videos of when he would dance around. Our last trip together was to Deep Creek, Maryland. And I have a video where him and his brother were dancing around the house, just being the life of the party.
Right.
But you never know what a person is going through on the inside because of who my son was. He was kind of stubborn because of who he was, and he felt like I have to be a man. He didn't feel he could be vulnerable with a lot of people. He chose who he could be vulnerable with. But I think that's part of the stigma attached to mental health. People judge so extremely and think it's just something you can get over with. Mental health is an illness just like lupus. You can't always see it, but it's dwelling in that place.
Right.
He was a strong person. He definitely was. And I refuse to hear anybody say, I refuse to say that he was a weak person because it's not weakness. It's not weakness. He got tired. And I had to come to the conclusion where, I questioned everything. I blamed myself. I went through the whole process that my baby got tired and he made a momentary decision that he couldn't take back, So, um, like I said, when he worked hard. He was looking for a job. He was going through the whole process. And the thought of losing his daughter was too much, and I can say that as a mother, it's like missing a rib. It's like
Mm, mm, mm.
the heart, you're missing one of those beats, you know. But I build on now all the joy he brought to my life,
Okay.
all all the times, we laughed together, all the times he made sure that I was good because I was going through some health issues. And I said, I'm just leaving DC. He said, no, mom, we can't do that. I need you here. I need to know what's going on with you. So he poured his heart out in so many different ways. And when he loved hard. So people can't take away from somebody who chose to take their life. You can't take away from them because they brought so much to this world. And as on my interview yesterday, we have a beginning and we have an end.
That's right. That's right.
And as a parent, I always thought about them living without me, but I never imagined living without one of my children. So it's a ongoing process, and I know that I will heal in time, but I'll never forget. I'll never forget.
Oh no, 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 no. And we don't expect you to. And what people gotta understand that in time changes things, but you're going to always be on that road to recovery, the healing road. Time gives us time to deal with it and feel, a certain way, but no, you would never forget, because that's you. It's a part of your life. It's like, once this happened, it's a part of your life. It's a part of your life, but you're able to take something that's so hurtful and painful and turn it around and make it beneficial, or or to get something out of it. You know what I'm saying? Get the positive and the blessing out of things. I had a cousin. I got a couple of cousins. Mental illness runs in our family. A lot of people don't want to talk about it. A lot of people, it's a hush hush thing. You know, why is part of that PTSD. We get so much put on us, and we expected to take it, grin and bear it, and
Right.
not be able to express ourselves, or if we're hurting inside too. And that comes from slavery, because if you feeling or whatever certain way, you better not. It's like, hush, you don't talk about it, don't say nothing. It's all that over 400 years of conditioning, and it still happen now. We have to break the cycle. We have to break the chain. We have to break that silence. If
Yes.
you are a man or a woman or even a child, we want them to express themselves. When I was growing up, and you feel a certain way, or you tell your parents, oh, I feel this way or that way, you know what they used to say? Go outside and play.
Mm-hmm.
Go out, like that's gonna, they would never take the time to figure out, is this child going through something? Because when you're a child and you're going through stuff, you become if you don't get it fixed, you become
Yeah.
an adult going through the same issues and things, if you don't stop it off at the path. you,
Right.
you know and a lot of people don't understand. I'm speaking from my own, personal background. I'm not going to get into my story, because we're here today to talk about you and your story. And the reason why you're telling your story, you want everybody to know your story, is because why, Bernice?
I want them to know my story because it's a thing of surviving. And not just surviving, but learning to thrive and heal through it. Because honestly, I'm sick of bandages. I don't want any more band aids. I want healing, totally and complete healing. And, I was in the process of where, when I was grieving,
Mm,
I wanted to take my life. And
mm,
I've dealt with depression on and off in my life because of my past, but what I've learned is just to take it one moment at a time. People always say one day at a time, but we don't know what's going to happen from one moment to the next,
that's right.
because that particular morning when I got the call, I had just got finished praying for my children.
Mm,
And to get that call, the devil will be in your ear. Oh, see, he didn't protect your son. But I just began to pray again. I said, God, you know all. And I may not understand, but there's a purpose in it all. You knew exactly what my son was going through. He said he know our thoughts are far off. So therefore you already knew. And my son actually had a couple of dreams that he was going to die before he was 30. And when he told me as a mother, I'm just like, sometimes, baby, it's a warning, And I just prayed. I said, God, I don't know if I can handle losing my child, but He gives you no more than you can bear. So I just want people to know that there is a tomorrow, that there is hope, and we may not understand, but we have to take what we have, what we learned, our wounds, and help to heal others with it. I want other people to know we can't keep applying the stigma to mental health. My son was stubborn. I tried to get him into mental health. He was like, Mom, them people don't care. That was his thing. And honestly, it's true in a lot of cases. A lot of these people take these jobs, but they don't have the heart for it. See, you have to have the heart to be in something like this. If you just in it for a paycheck, you're not gonna make a difference. I've been in the like I said, I've been in the system trying to get therapy, trying to get help. I asked the last company I was with, I said, well, do you offer a grief counseling? Do you have a group for grieving parents? Because it's widespread, especially in Ward 8. It's widespread. This thing is like a disease.
It
I
is
mean,
a
I
disease. It
mean,
is.
it is a disease, but it's just today it's so prevalent and it's hitting us hard. Whether they're dying from suicide, gun violence, and all of that comes back to mental health. What's going on? What's going on in our community that our children are suffering so immensely? I don't understand. But we have to start reaching out, holding these people accountable. And if the agencies aren't held accountable, then we need to hold the politicians accountable because you guys supposed to be running the government. What are you doing? See, we talking about the pandemic. This mental health is a pandemic. And if we don't start now, it's just going to get worse. Because I don't want another young person to feel like, oh, nobody cares. Nobody cares. My son, like I said, my oldest son created a post. He said men don't have the room to, you know, play victim. And it's sad because they're human. I don't want my son to feel like that. I don't want anybody's son to feel like that. People care. And I told him, I said, the thing is, he asked me a question. He said, well, Mom, he said, the thing is, if the 90% don't care, then the 10% is very minor. I said, but the thing about it is, we got to stop focusing on the 90% and work on the 10% who are pushing, who are trying to help you thrive, who want to help you through it, who want to be your strength, who want to wipe away your tears. We have to start focusing. See, everybody look at the big picture. Let's look at the small percentage and say, okay, we're gonna get this done. Because if God is for us, who can be against us?
That's right. That's right.
You can be an army and change so many lives. Our black men are suffering, and not to say the women aren't, because I'm a woman, and I have daughters who go through depression. But our men, and we wonder why their hearts are cold. We wonder why they act like they don't care because they feel no one cares. So we have to show them different. We have to. We have to be that willing vessel. We have to sacrifice the time, the love, because yes, the 9 children are mine. God gave them to me. They don't belong to me, but they belong to Him. But I see others as my children. I have adopted, sons I adopted that came by way of my children, and I love them. And I want to help them because I always tell them, I said, look, let me be your safe place. And if I can be their safe place, and I don't have much, but if I have a couch, if you're homeless, if I got food, you got it. If I don't have but $20 and you tell me you're hungry, I'm going to send you something, because that one act can change your life. It can change your life. And I'm ready to do this. And I know there's others out there with the same heart I have. We have to save our children. We have to save the grown men as well. Because I've seen on social media these men crying out. Where do we begin? We begin in our house and we take it to the street so that we can encourage these men to encourage other men. And it can be a chain reaction.
That's right. That's right. And what you're saying about the 90 and the 10, that 10% could be more powerful than that 90. You know what I'm saying? We could make a bigger impact, a bigger difference, and it'll be contagious. Remember, they say that it's just a few people in the world that's trying to do good, but we could make a difference because
Yeah.
we could be more powerful and than that 90, than that negative. We got to just be the positive force. Sometimes just one little word can make a difference. Sometimes just one random act of kindness goes a
Yes.
long way. See, we don't know how far it goes, but we can bless somebody and they take that blessing and go on and bless bigger and bigger and bigger. That's what we want to do. We want to be the blessing to our children and not the curse anymore, because that's what we have to do. It's generational of curses. It's generational, and we have to break the chain. We have to be the one that said, "Wait a minute, I'm gonna stop this because I'm tired of this." That's why we have to speak out and tell our children it's okay to hurt. It's okay to feel that way, and you stronger than you think, and we are here. We are here for you. Um,
Right.
and it start with the mothers, the way we nurture our sons and men, and then the fathers. A lot of the fathers aren't around, aren't in the home. I'm a
Yeah.
single parent. I have a son and I raised a son, and I cannot teach my male son to be a man, quote unquote, but I can teach him to be a good person. He still needs that male influence. So I want all the men in our community that hear us, that's in, we're crying out because we need you, men. We need men to be men. Men think that we don't need them anymore because that was a design. Again, I always go back to when we was in bondage. That was the thing, how they try to break up the family. You were right when you said we got to snatch our children back from the cradle, because the devil is snatching them up as soon as they born. We have to snatch them back and hold them, and then we have to let our men know as women that we love you, men. We support you, men, so they could go out there and be men like they're supposed to. This
Right.
world, I tell my son, it'll take everything from you, and it won't owe you. It don't owe you nothing, but it'll take no less than everything from you. And I
Right.
tried to give him positive affirmations. Get on out there, be a man. I don't tear him down. You see, I hear a lot of women male bashing. I can't
Yeah.
do that because I love the men in my life. I love even though my father didn't come to me till later, I had a granddaddy. And he showed me what it meant to be a man. He didn't have no more than a sixth grade education. He had the world on his shoulder because not only did he have to take care of his family of five, then here come the grandchildren. He had to take care of them too.
Right.
And
Right.
and sometimes he would just sit, and I was like, "Granddaddy, what's wrong?" He had this look on his face, and he shake his head. It felt like he had to keep everything inside.
Yes.
Everything, and you don't have to, let it out, let it see. And that's what our men think, that they have to be men, have to keep it in. You don't have to keep it in. That's what
Right.
you got. Tell
Hmm.
somebody, talk to God. And
Yeah.
speaking of God, how did the church help you? We talked before, and you were saying how you didn't find any solace or any uh, security in the church. Tell the people about that.
Well, I was going to church, but it's something when um you're going through and I waited for somebody to reach out, you
Mm-hmm.
know, to pop up just to say, sister, we're here for you. And I never got that. And the problem is a lot of pastors will say, well, we not babysitters, but you're supposed to be our shepherd. God said he left the 99 to go find the one.
That's right.
So, and if I had been able to follow through when when I was about to attempt suicide, then a lot of people would have been saying, well, what happened? And blah, blah, what happened? I was alone. But then, when I think about it, I say, God, again, sometimes he puts you in this space where you can only depend on him because he don't want anybody getting his glory. So right now, only person I can give glory to is him
That's
because he's bringing me through this. He helped me to see and to understand, what took place, you know. And I said, I questioned God, why did you take my son? Why? I don't understand. And it was just as clear to me. Look, he was your son naturally, but he belongs to me. And God gave me solace in saying, he's with me. I got him. Just like when he was on earth, I had him. So I really didn't I can't say I found it in the church. I found it through prayer and reconnecting with God because it was many days I couldn't pray. So I just began to say, Jesus. It was all I could say because I was broken. I was broken. And I'm grateful for the process God took me through because it's refining me. And sometimes He removes people in your life so that you can move forward. Because sometimes we find ourselves dependent on people. And we can't do that. I didn't find the solace in the church. I found it in God Himself. That's how I know He's real. Because I wouldn't be here. I would not be here speaking to you today, telling my son's story, telling about his beautiful life and the heart of him and how he was my cheerleader and he was his brother's cheerleader. I wouldn't be able to share that with people. My sons weren't in the street. And the first thing people say is, oh, he died by gun violence.
Mm.
Somebody killed your son. People have to stop assuming that every black man is out there in the streets. Because it's not the case. It's not. There's so much more going on in the world, and my son was going through so many things, but he's at peace now. He has no worries. God can take care of him way better than I ever could.
Amen to that. Amen to that. I tell you. Mm, mm, mm. Um, wow, I'm just so, caught up. So, your movement, you're moving forward. What are you doing now, to help other people that may be in this situation, or help us survive the loss of our loved ones? Because that's what we're doing. We're coming together so we can survive this. Um, so,
But I'm sorry. Well, right now I've started taking classes because I want to be more informed about things. I just completed mental health first aid. Now I'm taking direct support specialist classes. But I help whoever I can. I talk to many people. I do videos, and like I said, what I'm doing is not for likes. I just want somebody to be encouraged and to know, see, not many people will push that like button, but they're watching. So
mm,
as long as I get someone's ear, you know, um, I'm okay with that. You never have to know my name, but know that I'm going to encourage you because somebody encouraged me. I'm going to speak out. I've been, before it took place with my son, I was just coming out of my shell because I didn't have the confidence to say, I'm going to tell people. So now I'm on this journey. And it began with my cousin, Girlene. I mean, she opened that door. Her and Rico, they opened that door for me and they put me on their show. I've been a co-author of two books. One is called Overcomer. They are for sale, I believe, still on Amazon. And one is called Seasons. I'm waiting for my shipment of books at this time. But I'm also in the process, like I said, I started my book, but once this took place, I, I was I was lost. I couldn't focus on anything. I couldn't. And the sad part is honestly, people in the community, they say people can see in you what you can't see in yourself. I've approached people, look, I want to do this, I want to do that, but people don't want to see, and it's sad with the crab in the basket mentality. They don't want
mm,
to see you want to see you get ahead. But the thing about that is, look, I'm not out here to be rich. I'm out here to make a difference.
that's
I'm out
right.
here to heal hearts. I could care less, because I know what it's like to be without. I've been homeless and my kids went through that process with me. I've been homeless. I've been in bad relationships. I've had the low self-esteem. I've dealt with all those things. But pushing myself to the side, this is about something so much bigger. So I'm out here, and every chance I get, I'm speaking, and I'm feeding the homeless, and I'm doing care packages, and I'm encouraging people. I saw I call them my hood sons the other day, and he had started a job, and I'm starting to see him back out here more often. So I just walked past him. I said, "Good morning, how are you?" He said, "I'm okay, Mom." So he had this look on his face. I said, "Well, where the smile at?" And he smiled for me. I said, "Let me tell you something. As long as you're trying, because we don't realize how many of these guys out here on the streets don't want to be here, but they
Right.
feel they have to be. They feel like they have to be." And I had spoken with him before, talking about the whole situation with, them being in the streets. And he said, "Mom, they take us and they put us in these programs. Then they want to put us in these programs and pay us $9 an hour." He said, "I can't survive off that." He said, "Then we'll tell them, we can't be in certain neighborhoods because of the life we have lived." But they don't pay attention to that. So these guys are not willing to risk their lives for $9 an hour, and you putting them on the enemy's turf. So their mental health is very much affected because they're losing friends back to back, back to back. And I can see the hurt in them. So we have to. This thing is so vital. So if I can do an encouraging word, I'm working on speaking more often, because like I said, I wouldn't speak out of fear. I wouldn't even use the gifts God gave me because I was fearful. I didn't feel good enough. And that came from my background. But God is changing and shifting and molding me into the woman he wants me to be. Even when I'm going through things, I can always find a word for somebody else. So I'm going to be out here. I'm going to continue feeding people, encouraging people. I had a homeless friend who used to be up here all the time, and every time I saw him, like I said, I don't have much. I don't even work, but I would bless him and encourage him because he's an amazing artist, and we don't know how many gifts we have out here that haven't been unwrapped,
Right.
but they don't feel good enough. They don't feel good enough. They don't feel like people will accept them. And like I said, I've been homeless. I know what it's like to get those stares. People looking at you like, the attitude, the stigma, because you don't know people's story.
That's right.
Don't know their story.
You don't. Now you mentioned something about mental health first aid. Well, what is that?
It's basically you learning the steps. Like, say, I'm going through something, and they teach you the steps on how to approach, what to say, what not to say, um, and then the resources you need to help these people. So it's basically like CPR for the emotion,
Hmm.
for the struggle of mental health.
Okay. Okay, that's what the first aid mental health. So those of you who asked the question, what is first aid mental health? That's what it is. The first steps of recognizing and understanding that something's wrong, and then the second step of what do you do when you do recognize that there's something wrong or problem or somebody needs encouragement. I'm sorry. I wanted to ask you when you said that your son, because I myself, I'm a big advocate of mental health. I need counseling myself. I'm in counseling, myself. I'm not ashamed
Right.
to say it. We all do. I had to find a counselor that was the fit for me. When you said that your son would tell you, "Mom, they don't care." I've been there, and when I felt that, I had to tell him abruptly, "You can't help me. You're not the one that
Hmm.
can help me." Because I used to have a life coach. Nothing against white people or anything, but this was a dilly white lady who had no idea what it's like to be black. She was one
Mhm.
of the mega people, and she did not have any idea of what I was growing up in, what I'm coming from, not a clue. So how can you help me or you be my life coach when you don't even have an understanding of the person that I am? Sure, you may have been a woman, but you were a white privileged woman who do not understand nothing about a poor little black girl. With that
Yeah.
being said, I voiced to the company. I said I need somebody else. This is not
Mhm.
going to work. Did you ever feel like um when you all were in therapy to get another therapy, like if the first one don't work, find another one, but it's important for you to stay in the program to see if you can find another therapist that you can relate on or on that level?
You know, the thing is, like I said, I advocate for myself, and I think these companies are not really used to people doing that. I had to tell them, I said, let me tell you something. I'm going through something. I said,
Mm-hmm.
but trust me, this is not what you want here. I said, and I would talk to the director, and what they do is they try to keep you from contacting, other people, the head of the companies or whatever. So I told him, I said, oh, I need a new worker. This is
That's
not
right.
working. And when they begin to give me the runaround, I said, okay, we're moving forward, next company. But I think it's kind of God's way of saying, I need you to see what's taking place. So you can advocate for this because these providers need a report card.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
Start
they
giving them a
do.
report card because they'll have people in their systems and they're getting paid for it, and the people don't even come to the office, and they don't come to people's homes. They don't come to people's homes. They don't reach out. They don't by the phone, and this has been my experience. So, like I said, I think God is taking me through this process so that I will know the ins and outs, because He's teaching me. Do I have a degree? No. But I have the tools that God gave me, and He's given me the increase where I'm learning, this is what needs to be done. This is what needs to be spoke out on. Because there's no way that they should be getting paid for a service they're not providing. So I continue to search for that person because what happened was we actually ran into a lady. It was a new therapist at the place, and she was amazing. She was,
Mm-hmm.
and the thing about it is, she knew my son because she used to be a therapist in his school. So when she heard about my story, she was emotional about it. She was like, "I'm not gonna cry till you leave because it's unprofessional." But this lady up and left. She said, "I can't take what's going on in this company," and we never knew she was gone. So my daughter and I went to the place and we said, "Well, we haven't heard from our therapist. Oh, she's gone."
Mm.
And you weren't going to say anything? These are the things that's taking place. We have to be held accountable. We are being held accountable for our actions in the world. You took on this responsibility, do it or step to the side and let somebody else do it. And that's another thing. There's a shortage on therapists in Washington, D.C.
A shortage on good therapists. You
Yeah,
right about that. There's a lot of hokey pokey people that don't care, and they just like, oh, they in it for a paycheck. And then it was like they have a checklist of they ask these questions like robots. If I
yeah.
wanted a robot to talk to, I would talk to a robot.
Mhm.
I'm coming to you because you're supposed to know better. You're supposed to help me deal with what is plaguing me, not add to my problems.
Right.
And we got to be we got to take ownership of our mental health, physical health, all of that. These doctors work for us, and we got
Yeah,
to let them know. Look, I can't get what I want in these companies. You guys, sometimes you got to tell them. And you're right. When you get a good therapist, the therapists get burned out too. The
mhm,
therapists get so tired of dealing with when they working with a janky company, and they
yeah,
know when they work with a janky company because they tend to leave and go on their own.
yeah,
And then what I find also with getting a good therapist, insurance coverage. Now, under your health plan, this should be mental health under every insurance health plan, but that may not be the case. you may have to come out pocket a little more, which we need to advocate for that in our insurance packages that we get, because
Yeah.
mental health is part of your health, your
Yeah.
overall health. If you're not right in the mind, it don't matter what kind of shape your body in, because it's following your mind.
Right. That's
And,
right.
and people just don't understand that. It start with a mental first. This used to be I hope I'm quoting it right. As a man thinketh he is. Have
Yes.
you heard that saying? Am I saying that right?
Yeah.
As a
So
man
many.
thinketh he is.
Yeah, you saying it right.
So we got to get back to that mindset of recognizing and knowing who we are and not feeling ashamed to lean one another. And like they say, am I my brother's keeper?
Yes.
Yes, you are.
Yes, we are. God said, "Let the strong bear the infirmities of the weak." And like I said, He knows how much we can bear. But I honestly, I feel like we in Ward 8, there should be. That's why I'm so bent on this center. There needs to be free services. Everybody, and I know everybody has to survive, but there are those out there. What about the homeless? What
Mm.
about those who don't have insurance and their mental health is not what it should be? What about them? What about those children who don't want to talk to their parents? What about them? We need a safe place so that these people can walk in and say, "Look, I need help." Not, "Oh, what kind of insurance you got?"
And that's the first thing they say. And they don't feel no remorse for telling you, "Oh, I can't help you." They don't even refer you to someplace that can help you. It's like so many people don't care. So when you run across few like yourself,
Mhm.
that you're an angel. You're an angel. You may say or give them direction that they need. And you said that you're in Ward 8. Your
Yeah.
councilman, your congressman, who do you go? How do you start that ball rolling? Who do you go to? Who do you complain to about the situation in your community? How can you get that help?
I'm going to say, well, for me, I believe in phone calls, emails. I want to leave a trail.
Okay.
Now, many people might not speak my name, but they know my name. Because I'll call whoever. I be like, your boss got a boss who got a boss.
That's
I'm
right.
not until I get to who I need to be. Now, I can say that I had an issue one time, and I went to Trayon, and we sat down, we talked, we had a meeting, and he referred me to another company who was absolutely awful as well. They were awful. They did not help my daughter. We waited, and the thing is, there's a wait list for therapists, 3 to 6 months. I said, my child could have killed himself by then. What am I supposed to do until then? So I send emails.
Mm,
Um, I send emails. I make phone calls. It doesn't matter who or where or what the situation is. I will reach out, and you're not going to silence me. That's why my email says Big Mouth Advocate, because I'm going to say it and you ain't got to like it.
mm,
So I go through that process, and I have to say we have some good people here. Um, uh, what is it? ANC Commissioner Celine, um, Sandra Seegers. I don't believe she's any longer ANC commissioner, but they actually reach out. He is up and down Ward 8. He's always around, and he is one I can say he is about his work. Because if he don't know, he'll find a way.
mm. That is.
That's what I do. I reach out, because like I told you, honestly, I'm just coming out my shell. So when I'm passionate about something, my passion, there's no stopping, but I'm just I'm just to the point where it's time for change. It's up to us for a change. And they say be the change you want to see. So
That's right. That's right.
I want to be a light. And like I said, I'm not looking for spotlight. I don't need to be a star. I don't need millions of dollars. I just want to help because it's the heart he gave me. And one thing for certain and two things for sure. I know that when my son left here, he knew my love for him. And he knew that I would keep my promise to him to take care of his baby. And, I said, I'm old. I'm about to be 50. I said, and I'm starting again. But again, God gives us no more than we can bear. And she is a piece of me. And like I said, she told me, she said, Grandma, Daddy sent me here to take care of you. And she
Oh,
looks just like him. So it's a struggle for her. It's a struggle for me. But as a family, we're going to get through it. She got aunts, she got uncles, and I'm appreciative of her mother's sister because despite, I guess, whatever people think, or because I won custody of my granddaughter, she's there. She's a part of her life, and I can appreciate that. Um, but other than that, it's like I said, it's about healing. I told God, I said, everything you put in me, I want to leave here empty. I don't want God saying I buried my talents.
that's right.
I want to leave here empty. Because I heard this man say his question was, he said, "What's the richest place in the world?" And people kept saying, "Well, this and that and that and this." He said, "No, the graveyard." Because too many people leave here with potential, with books, with businesses that should have been. I'm gonna leave here with no woulda, coulda, shouldas. I'm gonna do what I have to do. I'm gonna do things I want to do. I'm gonna live life with purpose. And my purpose is mental health. To share my son's story, that it may heal or save someone else.
Yes. Yes, that is so. That's right. And that's why we're doing the show. That's why we're talking. That's why we're having a conversation about it because we have to start it rolling. We have to break the generational curses somewhere. We have to start somewhere. And we're starting here now, today. Anybody out there that you know who is going through something or who is not happy, okay, on different levels of happiness, have a conversation with them. I hear at the end of Tom Mo's show, they always say to them, I hear Marley say this 50 million times. If no one have told you today that they love you, we love you. And we need to also not just talk it, but be about it. Give that love some action. Because what words are just empty until we put action behind it.
That's
Anybody can say anything. But we
right.
gotta really, when we say that we love you and we say we there for you, you can come and talk to me. We gotta mean that. So if you really don't mean it, don't put it out there, people. Like some people, and that's the turn off to some people too. Some people going through stuff. Oh, come talk to me. And when you go, like the pastors in the church, when is the pastor too busy to talk to his parishioner? When is the pastor too big that he can't talk to his congregation? And then they want to later on. They want that tithes though. He makes sure he's available for that tithe.
Yeah,
You know,
that's a big
and I know that feeling oh too well about not having nobody to talk to. Sometimes you feel like it's only you. What I used to do as therapy, I used to write, still do. Write a letter to yourself or a letter to God or whoever you want to talk to. But we need to express ourselves, get what's hurting us out. Get,
yes,
get this was causing us that pain and that grief, that mental sorrow and anguish. We need to get it out. And
yes,
men, please don't be ashamed. I mean, to talk to your fellow man, talk to your the women in your life, talk to your parents. There's always outlet. That's not a sign of weakness. What is a sign of weakness is when you keep it in because that's the easier thing to do. Do
yeah,
do what's hard. That's going outside that comfort zone. That's opening up. That's the strong thing. That's the hard thing to do, and we got to start doing that.
yeah. And
You know,
churches to implement mental health. We have to put that in churches. If we didn't need them, why would God present it to society? We need it. It has to be implemented. We have to have someone in position to
That's
help people.
right.
Because yes, I pray. I believe in God. I know that He's real in my life. Now I can't force nobody else to believe it, but I know for a fact I wouldn't have got through this process without Him. But the church has to recognize and put into place things to help people. Because sometimes you want to quote the Bible, and honestly, because I'm willing to be open about it and transparent. We don't want to hear that scripture. We want to hear that we love you, give me ways to get through this, and we got your back.
That's right.
You know, sometimes you just have to be there. And sometimes people ain't gonna want to talk, but have a room where people can sit and have a cup of tea and just be in the company of somebody. Because
Mm,
sometimes being home and being alone is not the safest place.
that's right.
It is the safest place. We have to open up and create spaces where people can be vulnerable. Because with my family,
Hello, Bernice.
huh,
Can you hear me? You said because with my family, you blocked out there. I didn't hear you.
we used to play a game. I would say everybody write something on that piece of paper, and we're gonna have to guess who it is. And
Okay.
then once we guess who it is, you're gonna tell us what we need to do to help you with it. So we write down our insecurities and stuff, and we
Hmm.
talk about what do you need us to do to help you with it. So little things like that help people just to know you care. And then we got to put it in there because I'm a parent. I tell my kids, look, I'm not too big to say I'm sorry
That's right.
because I'm your parent, but I'm wrong sometimes. And if I hadn't, I'm gonna tell you, so much wisdom in my children, especially my grown boys. Is so much wisdom when they can give me a word.
Ooh,
It's amazing, and that lets me know. You were saying, I can't raise my son to be a man. No, I can't. But I raised some, and excuse my expression, I raised some hell of a men. I'm gonna tell you that because I can appreciate what they give to me and how they have become fathers, and they're such good fathers, and they're present. And it's amazing, but yet and still they're hurting. Because one of my sons, he lost his brother, then he lost his best friend. He called a brother, then he lost another friend. Two of his friends died in a car accident, and they burned up a few months after my son died. So they're going through things and they're hurting. And we as women, stop beating your man up because he cried. He not soft. He not a skirt. He's a man with emotion. He feels just like you do. Allow him to be vulnerable or lose him one or two ways. Either he gonna walk away or he might take his life. You better woman up. We be talking about the men. You better woman up and be that queen. Because
that's
when
right.
he down, you gotta be up.
That's right.
That's just the way it has to be. We have to be that support system, back and forth. You know.
And tell us the name of your book again. I hear one of our viewers wanted to know the name of the book that you co-author, and tell us the name of the book that you're currently working on for yourself.
Um, the book I co-author, one of them is called Overcomer. That was the first one I did, and the second one is called Seasons. They should be available on Amazon. They were uh, presented by a company called Hers. The lady's name is Wena Crumbly. And I happen to meet her online. So she's a entrepreneur. She's a coach. She does a lot, and she took a chance on me and invited me to be in these books. And the book I'm writing now is called Overcoming Her Storm.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm working on that, and I was looking for support, and I'm like, okay, well, how do I do this, and how do I format it? But God will provide what I need. Somebody who will help me. Because I said, I tell people, look, I don't have no money, and I'm not looking for a handout. I'm looking for a hand up. But
That's
I'm
right.
going to write this book, and God will send what I need to get it, perfected in the way He wants it to be perfected, so that it can get out there and it can help somebody, it can encourage somebody, and That's like I said, that's just my purpose.
We're a lot alike when it comes to that. That's how it was with me. I'm an author as well too, and I've written a book that's already out, Shades of Blue by A.M. Morning. I always have to say this by A.M. Morning, and also I'm still writing some more books that's going to follow this. But and in the book, it tells the story about breaking the silence and talking about what the characters and everything going through. It's a fictional book, but it's based on real life situations and real life occurrences. But it's
Right.
fictional at the same time. It's what is it? Fictional drama, a book. And it talks about suicide in the book. It talks about what we go through life, and it's so people can reflect off those pages and see themselves. When they see themselves, then maybe they can hopefully get some help, talk to somebody about it, be like, you know what, if this character or if this person could do that, um that so can I. All we got to do is make a move. We got to be like that Nike sign and just do it.
Yes.
And we can't be afraid to move. If you scared, go scared, but seek the help that you need so you can
Yes.
have a healthy lifestyle. And don't be afraid to open up and talk to somebody. You
Right.
can't be afraid. You know how they say closed mouth won't get fed?
Yep.
Well, you got to let people know that there's a problem, or there's a need to be met so people can try to help you with the problem or try to meet that need. We got to talk out about it. We got to do it. What you're doing right now is very applaudable. You know, I
Mhm.
applaud your effort. I applaud your journey. I applaud everything that you're doing. Uh, I just love it. And
Yeah.
it's so beautiful because God is bringing you out of your shell right on time. You said you was in the shell. Now they
Yes.
tell you get out that shell and go and work for me and let me see the fruits of your labor now. So you're talking to people and you're getting out of your shell to save other people. Ain't that
Right.
something?
Yes. And one thing I want to say, if you're not ready to go to an agency, find somebody to talk to. And I want everybody to know sometimes you don't always have to talk back. Just be willing to listen. And this is my beautiful son. I don't know if y'all can see it. I don't know how to do this, but that was my beautiful son. He was 28 years old and he took his life December 4th, 2021. But that was my beautiful baby, and that was his last photo shoot. My son Darius did for him. Um, and I'm grateful for that photo shoot because now I get to see that beautiful smile all the time.
Wow, I tell you. Well, guys, this has been Miss Bernice Smith. Um, follow her. How can they follow you, Bernice? How can they contact you? How can if somebody wanted to donate or give you something, give them your information how they can reach you.
Well, if you find me on Facebook, I'm Bernie Smith. My page is public. Um, So you can reach me there, and any other information you need to know, I will provide it for you. So I'm not a closed person. Like I said, I'm coming out the box. I was comfortable there, had my blanket, my drinks, and all that good stuff. But now I'm coming out because I need the world to know. But Bernie Smith on Facebook, you can reach me there because I don't remember all my information off top. I'm getting old. I'm getting old.
You girl, you is not old. You getting better. We like wine. We age to perfection.
Yeah, but I'm on TikTok and Instagram as well. But like I said, reach out to me and you can even text me. My number is 202-890-7565. 890-7565.
All right, y'all. That's Bernice Smith. Molly, do we have anything from our viewers? Are they saying the comments? Do they want to say something to Bernice or ask Bernice something?
No, no. Great show. Katina said thanks for sharing your story. Slicky, Nene, everybody was in here. They just wanted to know the name of the book. She gave the name, so it was a great show though,
Okay.
as usual.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh, we're gonna have Katina back on the show tomorrow. Tomorrow, Friday. So hopefully, Katina be on the show, and we can hear her just like we heard Miss Bernice Smith. You know what I'm thinking? I would like to form a women's circle. You know, like some type of nonprofit organization where women like us we could get together and try to reach out to help our community. See, you're in Ward 8, I'm in Ward 9, and everybody know that Ward 9 is just an extension of Ward 8. I'm in Suitland, be the edge of PG County, and everybody
Mhm.
know that that's really Ward 9. So I'm over here in Ward 9, but but if we could, how do we start that to get something together for I'll say the DMV area, because a lot of us hurt and not enough of us. It's not oh gosh, what I'm trying to say. If us 10 get together, 10 out of 90 get together, we could make a powerful punch. And we could knock down that 90, that negative, and maybe we could win over some more people and grow um, the love and the support that we want to give our fellow man, our people. You
Yeah,
know,
I understand. I've been trying to start a women's group. The name of the group is League of Extraordinary Women. So I've talked to a few women, and I'm trying to get it together so we can get a place, we can meet up, sip some teas, some coffee, talk about what we want to do, because it takes many great minds to build something.
right, right. Agree. Let me know because I'll be more than happy to to help. And I also wanted to talk about the elderly that's going through stuff too. Mental
Yep.
illness with the elderly. They're depressed. They're older. They're alone. Some people don't have families. I seen this in the nursing home that my grandmother was in, and I wanted to start something called Ahead, assisting, helping elderly and disabled. That was my idea. I'm trying to get that together too because mental illness affects everybody. It affects the young, it affects
Yeah.
the old, it affects the disabled, and sometimes our disability can cause us to go into crisis.
Yes.
Like when we get sick or something, that change our mental. We're no longer when whatever's in the body goes in the mind and vice versa. Because
That's the truth.
sometimes we go through so much and so much pain and so much hurt where we want to just call it quits sometimes.
Right.
Like you said, we got to make it through each next 1 second to the next because a day ain't promising. So you can't say just get through the next day because 24 hours is a long time when you hurting so bad. A
Yes, it is.
minute is a long time. So we
Yes.
have to make it from 1 second to the next. And that's the truth right there.
Yes, it is.
Thank you so much. Any words of wisdom you want to impart on the audience, the viewers out there?
Well, um, for me, I want to say, take it moment by moment.
Mm,
Don't beat yourself up. Every moment you survive is a win. So just keep pressing. And as God said, the race is not given to the swift, nor to the strong, but those who endure to the end. And He's
that's
not going to give you any more than you can bear. So if you have no one to lean on, you can lean on me.
amen to that. And I just want to thank you again so much. And you are a light. We are a light, and we are here to help our people out of the dark because our
Yeah.
people been in the dark so long. So you're a beacon of light. I'm a beacon of light. All the
Yes.
positivity, and we can. help light each other. Like when you seen that your flame is going down, you can call on me, my sister, and for words of encouragement, for words just to listen if you need me to just to listen, just to be there, knowing that I got your back, and that's what we have to do as a group of people, as a society. Sometimes we have to light each other flame. When I see your flame going down, let me pour into you to brighten that, bring that flame up again, and vice versa. And if we do that to every light we see, we'll we could illuminate the world. But if we
Right.
start one light at a time.
One light at a time. And remember, silence is the loudest scream.
Mm, mm, mm.
Just remember that.